Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Stephanie. I'm a life and relationship coach. It is a gloomy, rainy spring day, so what better time to make a video than right now? I figured today we would kind of have a chat about being triggered because let's be honest, aren't we all triggered? Don't we all get triggered from time to time by someone? Okay, stupid question. The answer is obviously yes, but did you know that most of the time when someone is actually triggering you, it's because they're either jealous or envious of you. I know, shocker. We all think that when we get triggered by someone, it's because we're insecure or something's going on inside of ourselves, which could very well be the case, but someone could be triggering you or getting under your skin or saying something to cut you or doing something because they're actually jealous of you, and you don't see that. You just see the trigger. You could actually be triggering them in some way because you're doing this not intentionally, but because of their own insecurities and their own stuff, which is making them feel uncomfortable. It's then causing them to react or say something in a certain way that is just stinging. And you begin to start reacting in a way that isn't your normal self. And of course, you don't really even see what's happening, which causes you to go further down the rabbit hole. The first thing I want to ask you is look at this person, look at your relationship to this person, and do you have something that they want? This is the obvious, because when we think of someone who is either jealous or envious of us, usually there's something that we have that they don't have. Are you in a relationship and they're not in a relationship? Do you have kids and maybe they want kids? Are you successful in your job and maybe they're just not there yet? Do you have more money than them, or are they struggling? Are you a great mom and maybe unconsciously they know that they're just not the same as you? Are you in really great shape and they're out of shape? Now, this is not an ego thing. This is not a vanity thing. This is not you making yourself feel so better because you have something that this person doesn't have, but it is about taking a hard reality look at what are some of the things that you know very well that you do have that this person doesn't, that they would like. I had a client the other day whose mother-in-law is not the nicest person, and at times she hasn't always been the greatest mother herself. And when she's around my client, she's kind of fake, a little condescending, probably a little passive-aggressive. When you look at the situation and you're looking at my client, who is a loving, kind mother, great person, all of these amazing qualities, you're like, okay, well, why would this person even possibly pick this person apart? Wouldn't they be so incredibly happy? Oh my God, I'm so happy that you married my son and that you're a great mom to my grandkids. But what my client couldn't see, and sometimes this is what we can't see as well, is that she was actually triggering her mother-in-law because she was all the things that she wasn't. We all have those people in our life that at times we feel like we're in a competition, or maybe they feel like they're in competition with us. We all have known a person that sometimes just wants everyone to see them and see how amazing they are, all the amazing things that they have, and tries at every turn to kind of outdo you. I used to be triggered by this so much. I used to get so incredibly annoyed because I felt like it was almost like a personal attack. And I stayed like that for a really long time. And sometimes I even ended up playing the game with this person where then I was in a competition with them and trying to one-up them. And this happened for a really long time, honestly, until I kind of realized what was really happening and my part in the situation too. What was really happening is I was actually triggering this person in some way. I was triggering their insecurity. I was triggering their low self-esteem. And because I was triggering them, not in any way that I even realized I was even doing, but because I was doing that, it caused them to retaliate. That right there was so incredibly powerful, because what I realized in that moment was it wasn't about what I was doing, and it had nothing to do with me, even though the personal attacks were directed at me. It was really about this person being jealous, being envious, being insecure. It really just had to do with them. And when I kind of got that, it really helped me to stop taking what they were doing personally. Now, this doesn't mean that you're not going to be triggered by this person. It doesn't mean that you're not going to feel angry or get annoyed by what it is that they're doing or saying, but what I want you to understand is how to handle how you feel when you are around this person. That's gonna be where you're gonna feel super powerful, and this is also going to help you to really set boundaries with this person. Jealousy is always going to be deep-rooted in someone's level of insecurity. Insecurity may not be about you necessarily. It might just have to do with something that a way that you live your life, your character, things that you say, how you carry yourself. There's something that you hold that they don't have or they don't hold, and you're just basically mirroring that. You're showing them that. And when you show them that, this isn't something that you're doing. You're not like, haha, look at me, I'm a nice person, and you're not. Or you've made all these mistakes in your past and I haven't. I've always been a kinder, nicer person. That's not what's happening here. You're just kind of living your life, doing your thing, and you're triggering this person because you are who you are. It goes back to the uncomfortable feelings that this person feels that makes them do certain things, which then triggers you. So let's make the quick laundry list of the things that they're doing that could possibly be triggering you if they are in fact actually jealous or envious of you. They might downplay anything that you do, any role that you have, any success that you have, any accomplishments that you have. They're not going to be as excited for you because they can't actually. They're going to be fake. They're going to talk about you behind your back. They're going to have negative comments about you. They're going to want to spin stories that maybe even make you look like the problem. Definitely going to try to get all of the attention away from you and have the focus just be about them and what they're doing or what they're saying. They're definitely going to be overcritical. They're definitely going to be passive aggressive. Like, they're going to do all the common things that are just not nice. They also have absolutely no idea the wounds that are inside of them. So the example that I gave earlier with my client and her mother-in-law most likely has absolutely no idea that she still has wounds from her life of being a mother and possibly maybe even just her life in general, where her daughter-in-law and my client is triggering her. So maybe she does feel a little guilt and shame about how she behaved as a mother, and because she's not aware of that, hasn't healed that, hasn't worked on that, she is projecting her insecurity out there by being passive aggressive, by being a little nasty, by saying a comment. So most people, not even just this example, most people have absolutely no idea the wounds that are inside of them, whether it's jealousy, whether it's envy, whether it's any kind of wound whatsoever. And because of that, they are going to react in a certain way. They're going to feel uncomfortable by this wound, and then they go into attack mode. And just by the way, we all do this, but at least sometimes we can kind of take a step back and start to understand why we were doing what they're doing. There are a lot of people that have absolutely no idea, and they quite frankly never will. So for the people that you cannot have an open, honest conversation, for the people that have absolutely no self-awareness and don't want to do any kind of work on themselves, this is what we're going to do. We are going to learn how to handle these situations when someone behaves in this way towards us and they're triggering us. First off, I don't want you to actually, let's start that again. First off, I want you to understand who in your life does this. Maybe you don't know that they're jealous or envious of you, but you definitely know that they have some level of insecurity inside of them. What is it that you have that they don't have? I want you to think about the things that they do that trigger you the most, because I want you to understand those triggers. That way, when they happen, you can start actually taking responsibility for them and not just allow yourself to be reactive to them. There is absolutely no retaliation. We are not stooping down to someone's level, and we are not taking this personally any longer. I want you to stop seeing what they're doing as an attack on you, because it is not about you. Remove yourself and your own ego from the equation and start seeing what is actually really happening here. And sometimes this is really hard, and I totally get that. When I had the conversation with my client, for me, it was easy to see what was happening on the outside, but sometimes when you're in it and you're just angry or you're frustrated, it is really hard sometimes to not to understand what's really happening here. And this is where you kind of have to pick up the phone and like do that quick session so you can get that clarity. But I'm telling you, once you start to understand a situation, you have way more control over how you respond the next time you're in that situation again. You might have times where you're still reactive, and that's okay. You are human, so don't hold yourself to these like ridiculously high standards that no one can ever really do, because you are human. Sometimes something happens and it just makes us so angry and frustrated that it's hard to kind of like get off that hamster wheel for a really long time. In order to not take what this person is doing personally, I want you to start unpacking the story that you've created in your mind about what this person is doing. Because I hate to tell you, but that story right there is what's causing you to be triggered and what's causing you to be emotionally charged. It actually becomes a little bit of a game when you can start really saying, okay, the next time I get triggered, this is what I'm going to do, and I'm going to start slowing down. Like, half of everything that I teach and everything that we go over has to do with goals. Like, what is the goal? So if the goal is I don't want to be triggered by this person any longer, then you have to recognize when you are actually triggered, and you have to take the responsibility on yourself. Take that level of accountability on yourself to say, okay, I am being triggered, and what is really bothering me here? What is the story that this trigger is? Once this thing triggers me, what is the story that my mind creates that makes me go into these feelings of whatever it is that you're feeling, whether it's anger, whether it's frustration. Sometimes it really does take talking to an outside person to gain that level of perspective so you can understand what's happening so you can do something different next time. I hope you guys enjoyed this week's video. I will see you in the next one. Also, don't forget to comment down below on any video topics or anything that you would like me to go over or help you with your own personal situations. I love to hear from you guys in the comment section. I'm usually there in the first couple hours after I post my weekly video. We're also doing 20% off all of my online courses for the month of May because it is Mother's Day coming up and spring is here, hopefully, as soon as this rain cloud goes away. I hope you guys are doing well, and I'll see you in the next one.